Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are on episode 272. It is going to be an unusual attempt at coloring. I am in the back. You saw the pictures of the lanai, or the little video, of my little space. The day got a little bit out of sorts. I had to go to the doctor. I have a wound on my leg that I gave myself the day my parents arrived. It was really silly what I did, but it happened. And it's not healing up the best. I do attribute the lack of healing to having to prep 2 homes for a hurricane after prepping my 5th wheel, which was totally empty, for company. And it was when I was prepping the 5th wheel that this happened. So I had to go to the doctor, and of course they don't like, if you didn't know this, Neosporin can cause allergies. Some people don't do very well with it, and it can cause irritation on a wound. So he's giving me a prescription ointment, of course, to see if the lack of healing or it looking kind of really irritated is because of Neosporin. So I learned something new today. And my parents just brought over their dog Bubba. He is a Doberman Retriever mix. He is very large. And I have slowly been working on him being able to stay with me and not be agitated. Remember, he drove across the U.S. with them. It took them 8 days, and they were not separated from him for even a moment during any of that time. So today he is actually staring out the screen room toward where they would be. And normally he comes over and whines in my face incessantly. I will say that they took him to the dog park. We have a dog park here, and I can't believe it took them 10 days to get him to the dog park. And he loved it. There's even a dog pool, a little dog pool that he jumped in like 6 different times. So I think I'm getting a more tired version of him, which works for me. We get to deal with the AC on the 5th wheel and my AC behind me. I have dappled sun. I have placed myself in the spot that has no sun. I am sitting on, oh hey, my AC just stopped, so maybe it'll stay off for a while. I was able to find, now remember yesterday, day before yesterday, it wasn't even day before, a couple days ago, I did the Prismacolor rainbow boats in fluorescent colors. If Bubba, he's just started to think about whining. If he does whine, what I'll try to do is silence. I will try to not stop the continuity of the filming. And if he gets really bad, I'll just pause, go give him some attention, and come back. So one way or another, we're going to get this coloring session done. So I promised I would find 2 more sets of neon colors for the next 2 sets of boats. And I am so thrilled to say I did not think about my 520 Brutfuner sets. I have 2 of them. The student grade ones, most of the colors are up on my wall because I have an aquatic theme in my craft room, so the aquatic type colors, even into the purples, green, teal, blue, purple, all over on my wall. So I am going to use the flower box ones. And I do have, for the 3rd set of boats, I get to choose between 2 sets of colors that have the neons. So I'm not going to pause. I think it's going to be disruptive enough, but I do have a large number of neons in the 520 set. And if I make it successfully through to the end, I will share with you the color palette. So you can see what neons they have. There's actually quite a few neons and metallics, in my opinion, for the set. I'm going to start with the water. You're going to find that the barrels are not very reliable as far as color goes, because the colors that you see here are absolutely not how the colors are going to go down. So I also have had to label them myself, because these little teeny tiny numbers here that you couldn't even see until I filled them with some acrylic paint. They're too small for me, so I went ahead and numbered them with Sharpie. My silver Sharpie, by the way, I think I used white acrylic from the craft store, from the Dollar Tree. That's what 270 is here. and then 192 and 269 are silver. So I'm going to start with the darkest color, which is Harbor Blue. The middle blue is Tropical Green. I love the fun names. And then the third blue is Ceramic. And we're just going to see how much progress we can make. So sadly, like, I don't remember ever going to the doctor for like a wound or anything. But everybody was telling me they didn't like the way it looked, and my ankles, or the one ankle is swollen, and every night it's really swollen. I do have a history with, this is my bad leg. Probably everybody, or if you're new here, I have a spinal injury. It was very, like a major thing. And he's whining. We'll just see if he quiets down. So post-surgery, I was a very active person, and I am now very active. But it took a very long time for me to get even back to being able to walk. I was using a cane during this whole process, like 18 months. I had nerve damage. I have slowly got back to the point where I can be very athletic to the level I want, but my right leg and foot are mostly numb. So where I banged my leg, and it happened in the garage, something fell over onto it. And 70, all right, so this is the lightest color here. I really love the Brutfuners. I can't speak highly enough about these Brutfuners. They are just such a fantastic pencil. Though I will say they are not going to be as pigmented as the Prismas. He is coming over here, probably to talk to me. So I'm going to pause and see. Dogs are so funny. Did I say I'm not a dog person? I tell him in the lowest, quietest pitch, no, be quiet. And it just makes him be louder, like the world is ending. I feel really bad for him. But this is good. He needs to get some independence. And see, now he whined to me. Basically told him no, go lay down. And he went and did it. Crazy dogs, crazy. So yeah, my foot has been through a lot. I believe that ankle has been sprained as I slowly worked my physical ability back up to normal. I've sprained that ankle maybe 4 times, and I've sprained both of them. This is just the worst one. I even fractured, I twisted it so bad one time that I chipped off a piece of bone, which they say might never heal. It might just still be floating around in there, and I could have just irritated it. So when I was there today, he gave me an order for an x-ray. If I don't get the wound to kind of settle down with using this prescription antibiotic, I am to go get an x-ray just to make sure that I haven't irritated anything, and maybe that bone tip is in there, bone chip floating around. And then to top it all off and make things even more complicated, I'm allergic to most antibiotics. So he did give me a script that I'm not to fill yet for an antibiotic, I guess, used for acne and skin issues, that is very far removed from the traditional antibiotics like the Cillins and Keflax that I have tried to use, and my body just went nope. So we'll see how that goes. I can't do anything simple. No. Alright, let's do a little quick compare, since I'm just not going to be in a hurry and I'm not going to let the dog thing bother me. I can zoom back a little bit. This will be a very interesting study for me. So here's the 2 waters. You saw that I didn't work all that hard. From my eyes, I see a little tooth that if I really wanted to really pit these Brutfuners up against the Prismas, I need to make sure that I fill in the tooth just as nicely as the Prisma color. And I'll let you know if I feel like I have to work extra hard. Worst case, I can grab, I even have one right here. I have my Caran d'Ache blender that I used the other day. I used it on the dogs. I think it's so funny that this book has dogs, not a lot of them. And here I am babysitting a dog, and I got to color dogs last week. I'm just playing around with the medium and light. It is a wonderful 86 degrees, which is far nicer than the mid-90s that it was in September. And it is not humid. I have a fan on me, and they brought Bubba his own personal fan, which of course he chooses not to use. I figured he would come over here and lay down with me like he does typically, but he actually is more worn out. He's like less clingy, which is great. Alright, so we managed to get some water done. For being these little metal chairs, this is a little bistro table with some patterns to it. You know, so it's like an open work metal. And the chairs have little small round seats, but they're not that uncomfortable. We'll see, he's going over to the screen door. No, he's just walking by. And he's laying down. It is warm, so he's trying to stay in the shade. I unfortunately am trying to, I could have moved all the way over where he is, I suppose. If I have to do this again, I will try that location. All right, next I'm gonna try look at, I don't know if you guys can see that. There is a little bit of light reflecting. So I can move my camera stand in toward me a little bit. Yeah, it's a little grid. That's from the screen. All right. I'm going to try to bring out my combo. Everything seems quiet here now, so the combo should look very much like the Prisma combo. The pencils barrels are a pretty decent match. This needs to go here, this needs to go here. Alright, Neon 508 Sun Glare. Bright Lime Green 147 is just a normal green. Oh, and Sun Glare is 508. Did I say that? I might have. Blue Aster 225. Purple Rain 421. See how bad that stamping was? Took a bit to figure that out. Phlox Pink 363, and then Neon Orange, Bright Orange is what it's called. It is a neon, and it is 507. I'm going to hold them all in my right hand, and we're going to see how this goes. So, there's the AC kicking in. Gotta have that AC. The only color of these 6 for this combo that is not quite up to snuff is the orange. It is quite light, but the next orange, I had 3 orangish neons in this Brutfuner set, and the others were too dark. I'm going to use the orange in another location on this boat that I will, if it's too light, I'm going to grab, and it won't be here with you. I'll just on my own for homework grab one of the darker for some shadowing. My husband and I have been alone for so long that this whole family coordination of things and all that's entailed, that is kind of a new thing for us. You know, we didn't have children. I've never lived near my mom. She's always been 45 minutes away. So she's like right outside my door now. I get knocks on the door at all hours, but it's kind of nice. She even brought me a tomato. If you watched my review, in the middle of my review, she knocks on the door all quiet-like and hands me a half of a tomato, which I got to have in my salad today, and it was great. I can tell that I'm not... Did I miss a color? I think I'm just not going as thick as I want to. What I wanted to do was mimic the one up here where my rainbow stops at orange. And I was able to do that on my mock-up. But I'm already in the purple too soon. I think I did green too skinny. So we're just gonna not worry about that, and I'm just gonna press on. What I have found when I look at individual colors and they don't line up, when I'm doing the whole matching the colors on a page for cohesiveness, in the end it always ends up looking okay. I don't think I've had a single experience where it looked awful. Everything kind of blends in the end, even though when you look at them individually they might look different, as in very different. So what I'm gonna have to do here is ruin my beautiful rainbow and double up. I might not, we'll see. We'll just see what I come up with. I am actually quite impressed with Bubba. He is being so good. It's like I'm no longer like babying him. He trusts me. He is reassured enough by me that he doesn't have to be all weird panicky. So I'm impressed. He's being a good boy. Let's pull all of these down a little bit. Get a little bit of the green. I am using my light layers, you've probably noticed, because I'm wanting to be able to shift the colors a little bit here. But now I'm committed, and I'm going to do my heavy layer pressure, big ovals. It's really close to where I wouldn't mind. Let's see. And this, I might erase this if it doesn't, but it kind of feels like I should do a little bit of the blue over here, just a little bit, because the purple's looking pretty fat. I do have my eraser because I can see I'm getting into my circles. The Brutfuners, I don't have that fear of the messiness and staining that the Prismacolors do. And so I can tell I'm not being as cautious. These pencils I trust. But it does mean I'll have some cleanup to do. So if any of you are in Florida or in the South like we are, there is an interesting possibility for one last hurrah for tropical weather before winter sets in. It is called, I think, Invest 94L, and it's going to be either forming or not forming in the next 6 to 7 days. Just today, the U.S. Stormwatch folks gave it a probability. It was just something to observe. It had some little rain spot things on the US map in colors, and as of today it actually has a 40 to 60% chance to form into something. Around the world there's these different weather monitoring groups, and some of them think it won't do anything, some of them think it will, some of them think it's a tropical storm, some of them think it will be a hurricane. So for any of you thinking that Milton is over and we're done, we may not be done. That actually looks pretty good. It was so the Brutfuners don't look as good on copy paper. This is like my new fascination, is how good or bad are pencils on cheap 20-pound copy paper. I'm going to share with you, since I'm not in a big fat hurry today, here are my two rainbow colors. I can't really tell the difference. I see that I need to move though. I've got this big blot of sunlight ruining my coloring view. So here we go. Not bad, not bad. Moving on, I want to go ahead and skim this bottom here with a little bit of yellow. I didn't want to do it, but couldn't quite stretch it out and make it look right. I don't know if any of you watched my Brutfuner organization video. I talk about taking the metallics and the neons and putting them in a different case, because I will quote-unquote never use them. Never say never, especially when it comes to coloring. You will eventually start exploring beyond your comfort zone. Alright, so that is the initial rainbow. The next thing to do that is going to be a little nerve-wracking is I want the cabin to also be a rainbow. So let's just see. It's going to be a diagonal from the same thing I did with the other boat over here. I am going to put on the cabin on here, starting with yellow in the bottom corner. Again, light layers, because I might want to tweak my angle some. This blue is just so close to the true blue. I was so tickled when I realized I know where I can find my neons. Brutfuner, these are currently, I don't know if they're like favorite in the traditional sense of favorite, but I am impressed by them and fascinated by them. And if I wasn't on my strict use everything schedule, which I think I really need to be to keep me from second guessing and overthinking, I would be playing with these a lot more. I spent some time up front sharpening them all. There are so many of these that most of them at this point have not been sharpened. Again, these are not a normal color palette for me. So I'm really having fun coloring these fantasy boats in fantasy colors. I am so impressed when I look at videos and Instagram. I've been doing a lot of surfing. Instagram, boy, that is a time sink. I thought YouTube was bad. I can just search and look at coloring pages like all day. And I'm not usually like that. So, wonderful environment. What I need to do, rather than looking at images, is spend time to load my own. Alright, so we got as far now as the pink, which is in my hand. I'm not done yet. Okay, these are going to be glass. It could be an open cabana, or it could be glass, either way. But what I need to do is continue to the second deck. And I am going to start with the purple. And I'm going to carefully sketch out my angle. Not committing it yet, though I know that these are not as staining as the Prismacolors are. I still want to give myself a little wiggle room if my angles have to change. I'm gonna keep on. Now I have to start. Oh, I have orange. Not wanting to jinx myself, but Bubba is over there being super good. And now I get to repeat my cycle of colors. We're going back to yellow. The only thing I didn't like, I know that this angle is not as steep of an angle, but I don't like that angle. So I am going to stay committed to my steep angle. This is actually finishing off a little bit better. In my little mock-up that I created, the blue was not all the way down the front of this cabin, so it looked a little bit awkward. I still think I lost some of my angle. Let's do that. Steepen it up. I can only hope that when we're done, the AC, the two ACs aren't too noisy and distracting. I wish there was a way to, I mean, I could voice this over. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm not even experienced in voiceover. I have always done, I guess, once or twice when things have gone really poorly in the past. I have voiced over, but it is not my favorite. I don't even know if I've ever said. My other channel has 700 videos. So I have done a lot of videos. Oh, and look, my son is following me. Alright, let's see if we can move up. I think I'm going to move toward me. And I might even clip. Usually I don't spend the time to splice. I'm trying to find a good place. Let's see if we can work our way over to where I have no sun. Nope, I can't do it unless I move it toward me. It's not bad. I will go for that. I'm sorry, the metal clipboard here is in our way. I never even noticed that. Look, all I have to do to get rid of it, I always try to keep the clipboard, the big clipboard. Oh, that is so much better for you guys. You'll just have to pardon all the awkwardness going on here. It's challenging for me. Okay, back to purple. I've got this not very vivid purple. That I'm ready to commit. Yeah, that's a nice line. That's pretty good. think I would like to, I can clean up some of that later. I'm ready to move on. Okay, I want to show you what my plan is with those buoys. I would call these three, they look like ornaments, but I'm going to say that they are buoys. There's another word for what they are. When they keep the boat from hitting the dock, whatever those are called. They're not called buoys. So this is the orange that I want to grab, one of the darker fluorescents. Oh, we were waking up and we are whining. So you see that? I think that's a little too light, but I think I can darken it up just around the edges, and then this one that's got the other buoy over it. Again, not the correct term, but using the term so I know what to call the thing. I don't want to call it an ornament. We all know it's not that. Okay, that's looking okay. We're just going to press on. We're doing decent. I've got the these metal sheets of metal. I really like the metal. I'm going to go ahead and use the darkest of the gray. This is, I even wouldn't mind going darker. It's called Slate 463. And then the two light colors are Mirage Gray 452 and Glacier Gray 460. Oh, that's 462, sorry. And Glacier Gray 460. They will always, of course, be on the description. So we have these over the top with the little stitch lines. These just feel really nice. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and do a shadow line. I think one of the reasons why Bubba is being good is because they took him to the doggy park. The park is in this community, and he ran and played for the first time, loose and free, in like 10 days. I think that's the magic. I'm gonna say you guys need to get him out and work off that restless dog energy before he has to go to his doggy daycare, so he can relax and not be so agitated. So all of those lines are done with the darkest, which really isn't all that dark. Now I want the ones that are under to be dark. And I'm going to now take the middle, not do too much of it. Pretty much just soften the dark gray lines. Blend them out. don't even want to use the lightest gray. However, I do want these to be gray. I even am okay with the railing. I will leave this white. Going to the middle color. We had a rocket launch midday. It was a sunny day. It was a heavy, so it was nice and loud and grumbly. I don't know if I will. Oh, we're waking up. I don't know if I will ever get tired of rocket launches. Hey, that boat is just about done. It's a miracle. It's 36 minutes. Let's see if I can take Ocean Depths. This is the darker blue. It's the similar color to the dark that I used in the windows. So I am going to... I will also use some white. It is definitely a little more work to get the tooth. I found that I didn't have to work so hard on the copy paper with the Prismas, but I did have to work about this hard to get the tooth filled in. And I can tell Bubba is standing now, so I think that it would be best if... Oh, they might be here. That's why I heard a little beep. So I'm going to go, you guys. Here's my finished boat number 1, and I will just carry on number 2. We'll stop a little bit early because we had a very pleasant experience with the dog and me here out in the screen room. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. I do owe you the neon color palette just to share with you how many colors are in this set, and I will share that with you tomorrow when I finish boat number 2, and we will do that tomorrow. Hope to see you there.